Pick it up. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you don't have this in your notes, so I need you to put your pencils down and put eyes up here. Make sure you're ready. The word variability. Variability has the word vary. What does that mean? What does the word vary mean? It's going to be very different. The word vary means to be different, variability. So when we're looking to see if data has a high or low variability, we're looking to see if they're going to be spread out or are they going to be close together, okay? So just look at these situations to see if you think the data would have variability or not have variability, okay? Who was the first president of the United States? Is there only one answer to that, or are there lots of answers? One. There's only one answer. So because there's only one answer, then there's no variability. Okay? Let's look at the next one. How much time do the students in my school spend on the internet each night? What do you think? High variability or low variability? High, because every single one of you, just in this room alone, spend different amounts on the internet, right? So that would have a high variability, okay? What is the height of the tallest water slide at Wild Rides Water Park? Right, low variability because there's only one height for that one water slide, okay? And then what are the cabin rental prices for each of the state parks in Kentucky? Yeah, because we're talking all the state parks, right? Lots of different possible answers. So guys, here's the thing that you need to remember, basically, is when there is variability, you have lots of possibility. When there's a low variability, then there's not. There's only like one answer, two answers. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to today. Okay, so here's our diagram for today.
Good evening, Stats fans. Welcome to another exciting edition of Stats Center, presented by the Michelson 20MM Foundation. Clearly, I'm Robert Duke of the fame. Tonight, we're measuring spread in the NBA. It's hardly a surprise that one of the most valuable assets in basketball is a player's strength, or wingspan, as it's more commonly known. This measurement, from fingertip to fingertip, gives players tremendous advantage when it comes to blocks and rebounds. Joining me tonight for insight is former NBA bad boy and current TNT NBA analyst, the bread truck, the Frisco Kid, Mr. Charles Barkley.
You calling me fat, Adul?
Clearly, no. My apologies, Mr. Barkley.
I'm just messing with you. My personal favorite was always the round mound of rebound. But you can't call me that.
Not a problem. So, Sir Charles, talk to us about spread. Just how important a factor is it in dominating all those block shots?
Just to clarify, Robert, your knucklehead producers booked me to discuss statistical measures of spread.
So they did.
Statistical measures of spread have nothing to do with players' wingspans. Measures of spread deal with variations in the data.
So tell me, Charles, when would we use measures of spread in statistical calculation?
When using measures of center, like mean, median, and mode, would be misleading by themselves. Take the NBA draft. Let's say you're considering two players for the same position. One is extremely consistent. Each game he scores between 7 and 16 points and has 4 to 5 rebounds. The other player occasionally has a serious game, scoring 31 points and grabbing 12 boards, but he also bombs at times, missing all his shots and sometimes going completely quiet. Problem is, they both have the same averages, 10.6 points per game and 4.5 rebounds per game.
Seems like they're one and the same, my brother.
They're not, but their averages don't catch the critical differences between them. To discover these critical differences, we need to use a different type of measurement, specifically a measure of how spread out the data are. First one I need to mention is range, or the difference between the highest and lowest value in the sample. In our hypothetical, a more consistent player has a range of 9 points per game, 16 minus 7, while our inconsistent player has a range of 31 points per game, 31 minus 0.
Very impressive, Charles.
Sorry. So, do you guys see that, what he's talking about? If you were just looking at the mean for both players, the mean was the same. They both had a 10.6. Okay, it's not until we start looking at their variability, meaning how much they change, which we can see in the range. Player one, well, they only had a range of 9 points because they went from 7 to 16 versus player two. Well, sometimes he was awesome with 31, but then other times he was with 0, right? So his range was a lot higher. That means his data was way more variable than player one. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay.
But how do those numbers help us in our decision?
It doesn't really, Robert. Range is the simplest measure of spread to calculate, but as with many simple calculations, it's not incredibly useful. It does, however, demonstrate that the more consistent player has the smaller measure of spread. Instead, let's try using the next common measure of spread called the interquartile range, or IQR.
Okay, which we're actually going to get to in about a week. We're not quite to that next part yet, okay? So we're gonna pause there on the video. All right, now let's look at our notes from yesterday. Here's the same first page that we had, but now what we wanna do is come down here. Remember we skipped this lot yesterday? We wanna find the range. So guys, you should be on the front page of yesterday's notes, front page, okay? And now, this data about practicing the piano, let's find the range. All you have to do is find the highest and the lowest. So in our data set, what's the highest, guys? 43. And what's the lowest? 24. That's it. And then it says to subtract. So we're just going to do 43 minus 24. And that's it. 43 minus 24 is going to give us our range. Was the range hard? No, that was so easy. Remember, make your notes look like my paper. Okay, these are your notes. Remember, we're building your textbook. Okay, and that's all you have to do. The word difference means what? Subtract. That's exactly right. And it's your high minus low. It would be like if I said, hey, on the Canvas quizzes, I've had grades that ranged from 100 all the way down to a 25. Whoa, what's the range in our class? Is that very variable? Yeah, because our range would have been 75. What if I said second period had a range from 100 down to an 80? Well, that means, yeah, their scores were much closer together, less variable than this class. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, let's go ahead and turn. Yesterday, I had you do with a partner. We're going to do the same thing. It says work with a partner to find the range for the odds. So the odds only, 1, 3, and 5. Just the range for 1, 3, and 5 with your table group. I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes, okay? If you're at home, pause the video, and then you can turn it back on the check. So number 1, your high one was 35, your low one was 0, 35 minus 0, 35. Number 3, your high was 40, the low was 10, 40 minus 10 is 30. Thumbs up if you got that right. Excellent. Number 5, the high should have been 38, the low was 14, which makes 24. Are we good?
Yes.
Anybody have a question? Now is the time to ask. Okay, so now I want you to do is on your own, you're gonna do the evens. So 2, 4, and 6. Now, my friends that did not finish your homework, I saw you, don't think I don't see you. But you can do the range without having done the mean, the median, and the mode, right? Because all you need is the high and the low, and then subtract, okay? If you're at home, pause the video. So, number 2, your high was 99, the low was 64, so you should have got 35. Thumbs up if you got it. Excellent. Number 4, the high was 20, the low was 12, 20 minus 12 is 8. Good. 6, high was 15, low was 9, so 15 minus 9 is 6. Okay, guys, any questions? That honestly wraps up the lessons on mean, median, mode, and range. Tomorrow, you have a quiz on mean, median, mode, and range, so it's really going to be important. Remember the little ticket I told you at the end of the class to ask questions now. Is there anything I can clarify before our next activity? No, you may not use any notes. We'll ask you to clear your desk. Good question. Okay, so to practice, I have a Kahoot. So please grab a device. I have some in the back. Okay, guys, wait. If you take off of my card.